There's a suggestion channel in Jujutsu Shenanigans, and today, I'm going to be reading through some of them. There's a lot of interesting ideas in there, as well as some very stupid ones, but for the most part, it's a fun place for people to share their own visions for the game. Before I look through the suggestions though, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel for even more commentary on Jujutsu Shenanigans. Now, let's get into the video. The first suggestion I'm going to be reading today is from Drake9999, who says after a Mahoraga user dies, the wheel can drop and be used as a throwable. This sounds very hilarious. I honestly want this suggestion in the game. Because just imagine killing a Mahoraga and just throwing a wheel at someone. This is one of those goofy suggestions that don't impact the game that much, but just sound absolutely hilarious to use. And it's perfectly in line with how the game is. Like, Jujutsu Shenanigans at its core is a goofy game that is absolutely chaotic. So to have something like this in the game, where you can just throw more stuff, like more throwables as a whole, it just contributes to the silliness and the shenanigans that can happen. So this is absolutely a suggestion I am on board for. I'm gonna give this one a star. The next suggestion we're going to be talking about is from SwapShara228, who proposes a Emote Exchange. Basically what they're saying is if you get 5 emotes that you don't want, you can trade them in for 1 emote that you do want. I actually really like this because it sort of acts as a pity system for the emote role and lets you get whatever emote you really want, like dragon or stuff like that, without having to spend ridiculous amounts of Robux just gambling on it. But it still, like, makes you spend some money, which Z needs, of course, because to get those 5 emotes in the first place. So I think it's, like, generally well balanced. It's, like, 125 Robux for an emote of your choice, which isn't that bad of a deal. And, like, since you're exchanging emotes and not paying directly, you're still rolling, like, on the gacha, so you still have a chance to get that emote you want. And I just like this idea. It's a really good idea for the emote system, and honestly, this one gets a star from me. The third suggestion I'm going to be reading is from Sweaterbra, and this is a suggestion that probably can never be added to the game if I'm being completely honest. What they want to do is give Megumi 2 short-range abilities because his current moveset is too focused on zoning with 4 auto-tracking abilities. One, I just disagree with the suggestion, because the whole zoning thing is part of Megumi's archetype. Like, if you add in 2 short-range moves, then Megumi just becomes the same as every other character, and the 4 range moves that Megumi has, that design for his character is what makes him unique. If you give him 2 close-range moves, it takes away that uniqueness from him. Now, his reasoning for this is because it's impossible to actually fight effectively without running into the issue of no melee abilities, but that's not really the case, because Megumi, like, his ranged moves work just fine in combos, and they help him start combos too, so even if you're not, like, grabbing people at close range with block breaks or something, you still get to use these moves at close range because of the combos, like 3 uppercut into Toad, down slam into Nue, Rapid Escape just as a basic combo extender, or just more, and like, there's a lot of examples I can say. But let's actually see what this guy wants. He wants to replace Rapid Escape and Toad, which are the 2 range moves that I think are they're the ones that get the most usage because they're combo extenders and starters. So it seems like he did some animations here, which are actually really cool. I like these animations, for sure. But his first move, the user kicks their feet down, kicking the opponent forward, sending him a short distance away, followed by the user enclosing them within Rapid Escape, stunning them for a short duration. That's a standard combo extender, okay, but honestly, standard combo extenders are very, very boring. I'm just gonna be really honest with you, standard combo extenders are boring. Now, his next third move is Toad, so you punch the opponents before uppercutting them into the air, with the user using Toad to trap them in the air for a short duration, giving them enough time to use Nue to hit them mid-air. I think it's interesting that he, like, makes this move designed for a follow-up with Nue, or maybe even, well, no, not Rapid Escape anymore, because he's replacing Rapid Escape, But just the bottom line of why I disagree with the suggestion is just, it makes Megumi boring. Not every character needs to be a boring rushdown with 2 combo extenders or something like that, or a bunch of close range moves that you can use like that. They can have different archetypes, and Megumi's 4 ranged moves are what make him unique. Taking those ranged moves away just turns him into all the other characters, but with slightly better zoning and less health. And it just makes him boring, which is something that this game doesn't want. Generally, Jujutsu Shenanigans is built around fun and unique concepts with a lot of unique stuff in the game that keep it alive and fresh, but by giving a character 2 short-range moves and removing what makes him unique, it takes away from that liveliness that defines the game. The final suggestion I'm planning on reading today is doing Mahoraga plus R while in someone's domain. What LoL Minecraft 234 proposes is that if you do this in someone's domain, it will break it with the sword hit. This works in every single domain, and after you do it, you can't spawn Mahoraga after that. So basically, you're trading the ability to use Mahoraga in exchange for getting a guaranteed break on a domain. One small little nitpick I have with this is that it doesn't really make sense, just from the source material wise. Like, once Megumi summons Mahoraga, he is out there until someone dies. He can't just summon him, tell him to break a domain, and then, like, get out of there. Otherwise, he would have done that to Dagon, obviously, but... ignoring the whole canon thing, I think it's actually a pretty decent idea. It acts as a way to counter someone's domain guaranteed, but on the flip side, why would you want to sacrifice Mahoraga, which is an entire new mode, one that's probably going to be very strong later on, all for the ability to break someone's domain? It's not really a worthwhile trade-off, but it does act as like a save your life in your awakening in case you do end up getting hit by someone's domain, which is actually useful. Because all the domains in this game besides Hikari's are like guaranteed kills, and if Hikari gets his jackpot from his domain, it is a guaranteed kill then too. So you do have a vested interest in breaking domains, which I think is something that this move works as. So if this does get added, it won't really be all that like useful, or maybe all that used. It will be incredibly situational, but it will still definitely work as a get out of jail free card or as a last resort if you end up being trapped in someone's domain, either because you screwed up or something like that. With that final suggestion, we're at the end of the video. I personally found the Mahoraga suggestion to be the most interesting of the bunch, solely because of how it actually works as a really interesting trade-off where you can choose to sacrifice your big funny murder bot mode in exchange for saving your life if you get stuck in a domain, which, while that shouldn't ideally happen, always can because of something that you might never expect. It's definitely an interesting trade-off that I like, the only main problem being that it doesn't really work if you think about it canonically, because you can't summon Mahoraga and just have him do something and then screw off. It doesn't work that way, but it's still a cool suggestion from my viewpoint. Anyways, if you enjoyed watching this video, then make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel for even more updates and commentary on Jujutsu Shenanigans. I'm Noob Eternally, and I hope you have a good day. Bye.